There was one interesting thing, and I don't, maybe it was just on the version that I had, but the version you have, does he just say hair loss 4 times in a row right in the middle of it?
He certainly does.
Oh, see, my thought was, so Mosh must do more than hair loss though, right?
Let's get stuck right into it. Let's have a look at some of the latest work that's just come out. And we've reviewed this brand before, if you recall. So this is Get Mosh.
G'day, Wayne Carey here to talk about the one thing more important than footy, men's health. With Mosh, your online men's health clinic. Hair loss, hair loss, hair loss, hair loss. Blokes can get a bit embarrassed or lazy about finding solutions for this stuff. Head to getmosh.com.au for proven treatments by accredited Aussie doctors. It's all online, discreet and affordable, with treatments delivered fast and free. Come on, lads, get your health sorted at Get Mosh.
And there we have it, Get Mosh. A little bit different to the last one we reviewed. Dr. J, I'm just going to go straight to you to get your thoughts on this.
So there was one interesting thing, and I don't, maybe it was just on the version that I had, but the version you have, does he just say hair loss 4 times in a row right in the middle of it?
He certainly does.
Oh, see, my thought was, so Mosh must do more than hair loss though, right?
They do. Like, it's men's health, but it's pretty much sexual health, as in erectile dysfunction and hair loss.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. Like, they could have said hair loss, penis growth, whatever it's going to be, mental health, whatever the other things are going to be. So I found that little part a little strange, but at the end of the day, it's a simple, straightforward ad. I can imagine this costs next to nothing. They had their celebrity anchor who they introduced right at the beginning, who seems to fit the brand decently. I guess he's a footy player who needed hair. Wayne Carey, is that who it was?
Well done. That's why I threw it to you, because I wanted to see if you actually got it. So
I think he's in one of the pictures, the last hair loss one. So look, is this going to change the game? No. Is this going to write home to your mother about this? No. Is this get the message across? Yes. Does it make it clear what the company is doing? Yes. Does it make it choose a spokesman that has something to do with the brand? Yes. So I'm going to say, look, it's not starburst and rainbows and fireworks and all that, but shoot, so far as I can tell, man, it gets the job done. I know what the company is, I know what it does, and I know the web address. So if I need hair restoration, I know where to go. What do you think?
Look, there's 2 parts to me, and I'm a little bit torn with it. Like, I love the Wayne Carey introduction from the previous ad. And knowing a little bit about the story with Mosh, that Wayne actually just mentioned it on Triple M one day on radio, and he started going to town on how great this product is, and how it's restored his hair. And I remember the first time I ever saw this brand, and I think I mentioned it last time, was actually on Foxtel. And they're just like, "Oh, Wayne, what have you done to your hair?" And he's just like, "Oh, I'm using this new product. It's Get Mosh." And they're just like, "Look at it. I can literally just see it growing right now. Like, you've had a haircut in during the break." And they're making all these jokes just off the cuff, and it was unscripted. And it went off. Yeah. Like, it was a great piece of content. So I think kudos to them for actually securing him as a talent, because he wasn't paid for that particular performance, but he's used the product and he loves it. But in terms of a celebrity anchor, he's brilliant. Like, his nickname is the King or the Duck. I kind of like the joke in there as well with the animation, because it brought it to life. What I would have really loved to have seen was at least the first part and the end with Wayne to camera to really establish him as the trusted authority, as the individual, the celebrity anchor that sits there, because you can't miss it, and it's very overt. Rather than subtleties when they go hair loss, hair loss, hair loss. I actually love that section because you can't get it wrong. They are just focusing on hair loss. They've just shown you 4 before and afters. You've got distinction bias there, which is contrast. So I think overall, is it a very memorable ad? No. Is it going to drive response? Yes.
Remember what we were talking about when we always talk about a prediction break for attention. The interesting thing they did at that hair loss section, and it's why I had to talk about it, is it's a massive prediction break. They used the same phrase. So it wasn't him saying hair loss 4 times. Like, if you wrote me down, say hair loss 4 times, I would intone it differently. I'd say hair loss, hair loss, hair loss, and hair loss. But they didn't. What they did is they took him saying hair loss once and they just repeated it 4 times, which triggered, and I'm sure everyone notices it. It's a very weird prediction break where you think, something just happened wrong. Something looped in that commercial when it shouldn't have, and it just pulled your attention right over to what the heck it was doing. So that little moot choice was an incredibly smart choice. If someone wasn't paying attention, they have to now, because it feels like the commercial broke. That's why I even had to ask you, did I get a broken version of it? It felt so clearly broken. But because of that, what am I thinking about and talking about a half hour later? Hair loss, hair loss, hair loss, hair loss. So it did its job really well. Is it the sexiest? And you're right. If you could have seen him, I'm totally down with that. But I have noted, if this was, what did you call? I think you use the term like direct marketing, where it's not a sexy...
a direct response ad. It's not about creating deep memory formation. It's about, I've got you. You're in market for hair loss. Here's a product. Take action right now.
And what's good about it is it looks cheap. It looks relatively easy to make. I don't think they broke the bank on this. So if you're doing a direct response, keep it like that. It looks like they could have made that using PowerPoint. Sweet. Look, that's all you need.
If you paid less than $5,000 for the actual animations, you're paying too much. But I actually think this is potentially a radio ad. They've got Wayne to record a radio ad, and they've just got some cheap animations, because it would work really well on, except the visuals of the hair loss, but it still would come across on radio, and it still would be that prediction break. The other thing with them, the point of difference in market against, Advanced Hair and Ashley and Martin, these more established players, is that you still have to pretty much go in and see a doctor for treatment, and it's more formal. Whereas Mosh's real point of difference, it's all virtual. It's all over like a 5-10 minute, Zoom or FaceTime, and it's all done, and it's very discreet. So that is really their point of difference. And in their previous ad, they actually showed a very trustworthy doctor online on a tablet. And I thought that was a nice part that was missing from this ad, of just how easy it is. Whereas that didn't come through on this creative. This feels like another Ashley and Martin or Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair have used Shane Warne, which is a cricketer forever and a day. That was incredibly successful for them. So now you've got Wayne Carey, The Dark. This is the next evolution, but I would have loved to have seen more about their promise, which is the online.
I think until you said it, I didn't get it, but I think you're 100% right. It's a radio ad that they're like, screw it. Let's just put a couple of really cheap visuals on it, throw it on TV, see if we can drive some business. So as just a shot in the dark, go with it. I think, man, if you're looking to see what type of impact advertising on TV would have, that's a great, take your radio ad, throw some pictures on it, keep it as cheap as possible, and just see what the heck happens.
And it should work. And again, what I do like about where they're at now is they've actually got a platform that they can continue to evolve. Wayne Carey spokesperson, have a little bit of humor. And I'd like to introduce the doctor again. You've got a really nice formula that you can just hammer home. And again, males, they tune into a lot of sports, pretty much what they watch. It'll work well in sporting environments. Boom. And so I go, that'll work. Good result.